It was a dump, a forgotten corner of the city where shadows thrived, the kind of place where the city's secrets were buried and left to rot. Dust motes danced in the faint light filtering through grimy windows of an abandoned warehouse. The air was thick with the scent of decay and neglect, a stark contrast to the bustling city outside. 4 figures huddled around a makeshift table, their faces illuminated by a single flickering bulb. The room was filled with a tense energy, each person lost in their own thoughts, yet united by a common purpose. This wasn't just any hideout. It was a crucible where anger was being forged into a weapon. A place where plans were hatched, the opulent First City Bank, a gleaming monument to greed in the heart of the city. Its marble facade and towering columns stood as a test.
The leader slammed his hand on the table, his eyes burning with cold fire. "We can't let them get away with this," he growled, his voice echoing in the empty room. He'd lost everything to the bank's crooked dealings. His home, his family, his future, all gone in the blink of an eye.
Jax, a master hacker with a haunted past, nodded grimly, his fingers dancing across his keyboard. "I've cracked their security," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "We're in."
Luna, the explosives expert, checked her stopwatch, her expression a mask of icy calm. "We have exactly 10 minutes once we're inside," she stated, her voice steady and unwavering.
Tonight, they were going to take matters into their own hands. The plan was set, the team was ready, and there was no turning back. The seeds of rebellion had been sown, and now it was time to reap the whirlwind. Ace was a man forged in the fires of betrayal. His eyes told a story of countless sleepless nights and a heart hardened by the harsh realities of life. His family business, his life savings, all gone, swallowed by the bank's predatory loans. The once thriving shop now stood as a ghostly reminder of what he had lost.
Jax was a ghost, a phantom in the digital realm. A whisper in the digital world, he moved through cyberspace with the ease of a shadow slipping through the night. His skills with a computer were surpassed only by his bitterness towards the system that had failed him. Every keystroke was a silent scream against the injustice he had faced.
Luna was a force of nature, a storm contained within a single person. Her expertise with explosives matched only by her icy demeanor. She could dismantle a bomb with the same cold precision she used to dismantle her enemies. She'd seen firsthand the devastating effects of the bank's corruption on her community. The faces of those she couldn't save haunted her every step.
Drake was a blunt instrument, a hammer in a world that needed a scalpel. A man of few words and even fewer emotions, his silence spoke volumes. He'd lost someone he loved to the despair caused by the bank's actions, a wound that never healed. And now he was here to collect his due, driven by a need for justice that burned hotter than any flame.
They were an unlikely team, a collection of broken souls bound together by their shared pain and a common enemy. Bound together by their shared pain and a common enemy, they found strength in their unity. They were the line in the sand, the ones who dared to fight back against the forces that had wronged them, the ones who dared to fight back. Together they were more than just survivors. They were warriors ready to reclaim their lives. The plan was audacious, bordering on insane. They weren't just going to rob the bank, they were going to expose it for the den of thieves it truly was.
First, Jax would infiltrate the bank's systems, crippling their security and communications.
Then, under the cover of darkness, Luna would cut the power to the city block, plunging the bank into darkness and chaos.
With the bank crippled, Ace and Drake would move in, their movements precise and coordinated. Their target wasn't the money in the vault, but the server room deep within the bank's bowels. They would download the data, the evidence of countless lives destroyed, and release it to the world. They were about to learn the price of justice. Under the neon lights' showtime, the city pulsed around them, oblivious to the storm brewing beneath its neon glow.
Jax, a digital phantom, slipped through the bank's firewalls, his fingers dancing across the keyboard like a virtuoso playing a deadly symphony.
Luna, a study in controlled chaos, worked with deft precision, her tools laid out before her like a surgeon preparing for a life-saving operation.
Ace and Drake, shadows in the night, moved with the grace of predators. Their movements were synchronized, honed by years of training and fueled by a shared purpose. Tonight, the concrete jungle was their hunting ground.
Blurred lines. When is stealing right? The line between right and wrong had never been more blurred.
Ace wrestled with these questions as he moved through the darkened corridors of the bank. He wasn't a thief, not really. He was a man trying to reclaim what was stolen from him, a man trying to expose the truth. Jax, lost in the digital world, felt no such conflict. To him, the bank was just another system to be manipulated, another obstacle to be overcome.
Luna found a strange solace in the chaos she created. She didn't see herself as a hero, but as a necessary force of destruction.
Drake, ever the pragmatist, didn't dwell on the morality of their actions.
Dawn of reckoning, a glimmer of hope. The first light of dawn broke over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. It was a new day, a new beginning. The sky began to lighten as they made their escape, the city slowly stirring from its slumber. The streets were still quiet, the air crisp and filled with the promise of change. They moved swiftly, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and determination. They had the data, the proof they needed to bring the bank down. It was a small USB drive, but it held the power to topple giants. They had risked everything to get it, and now they held the key to justice.
They knew the bank would come after them with everything they had. The institution was a fortress, guarded by layers of security and influence. But they were prepared, their plan and convenience to be dealt with swiftly and silently. The bank's boardroom buzzed with urgency, their power threatened by the truth that was about to be unleashed.
As the sun rose, casting long shadows across the cityscape, they disappeared into the urban jungle. The city was waking up, but they were already blending into its fabric, becoming one with the shadows. They were ghosts once more, fading into the background noise of the city. Invisible yet ever-present, they moved among the crowds, their mission far from over.
The data they released spread like wildfire, igniting a firestorm of outrage and indignation. Social media exploded, news outlets scrambled to cover the story, and the public's anger grew with each passing hour. The bank, once a symbol of power and prestige, was now a pariah, its reputation in tatters. The once bustling lobby now stood empty, a stark reminder of the fall from grace.
The heist, a desperate act of defiance, had become a beacon of hope. In the darkness, they had found their light, a glimmer of hope that